welcome back to the Made It in Music podcast. I'm Riley Taylor, our community manager here at Full Circle Music, and I'm so excited for you to hear this upcoming episode because today we're talking with Jacob Biz Morris about his journey into music engineering. Jacob is a Grammy award-winning mixing engineer and vice president at Reach Records in Atlanta. He began his professional engineering career at 15 in Dallas, Texas. With over 6 years at Reach Records, he's collaborated with artists like Lecrae, Tori Kelly, and Kirk Franklin, earning Grammys and gold records. Beyond the studio, Jacob is passionate about studio building, having crafted spaces for Reach, Tori Kelly, and Montel Jordan. This was recorded along with our live online audience from our Song Chasers community. You can learn more about songwriting and find other music industry resources at fullcirclemusic.com. For now, let's dive into the episode.
So, you said you have a label side, you have an artist side. Mm-hmm. So does one, how does the scheduling work? Because I love that concept, because we kind of battle with that same thing of we've kind of made it to where on the production side of things for us, it's this is our rate, and that's the filter. So it's indie guy, label guy, whatever. If you want to go there, beautiful. And just especially on production side, where it's you cut one guy a break and then 6 labels are hey, we heard that so-and-so paid this to do a record with you. And it's people just get hurt and all this stuff. So when you're looking at on the back end of things, with the artist and the label side of things, and you have it all coming into one place, which is beautiful and brilliant, it feels like it makes it so much easier. How does the scheduling work? Do you have a coordinator that's just working on this is what we're saying yes to, this is what we're saying no to?
Those are the problems that we're trying to solve every day. In today's music, I think 100,000 songs are getting uploaded a day.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a lot of songs. And the way that it's what it costs to actually create a song and put it out is nothing.
Yeah.
So these artists are just they finish a song at 2 a.m. and they want to put it out. They want to upload it the next day for release in 2 days.
Yeah.
And so back 10 years ago is uploaded 3 months in advance.
Yeah.
Now it's uploaded 3 hours in advance. So scheduling is definitely something that we work on. And then there's some artists who are, when they send something, I'm going to work late that day.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing of the platform of mixed is and the reason why it's affordable is because we don't have to text. You can buy it, upload it, listen to it, give notes, and it's just a streamlined process. And we try to have quick turnarounds with that. So we can't guarantee stuff all the time, because if I get sick, then that's what happens. But scheduling is something that we try to work out all the time. It's a constant problem.
Is it just your calendar gets populated with stuff, or do you have someone working the logistics of hey, this is in? Yeah, let's
logistics. We have due dates on stuff and saying, mix 1 is due here, the master's due here. We use a scheduling software, Monday. Have you heard of Monday?
Yeah, totally. I get ads for Monday nonstop on YouTube.
Man, we've been using it for a long time, and it works well. And we have automations in it, so everyone gets alerted with certain stuff. And that's the beautiful thing with the team being really close. And I mean, we're pivoting all the time of, is this the best way to keep working, or should we change how we're working and how we're communicating to clients? But we definitely put the client first, whether that's the website or whether it's a label.
Yeah.
If I have to pick up the phone and call you or email you, I will.
That's beautiful. So speaking of the changing, what's it look like from now versus day one? What's evolved? What have been the biggest changes you've seen happen, and how has life either gotten more complicated or less complicated because of them?
More complicated, more songs coming in.
Okay.
I think empowering the people who are working with me to make decisions is the biggest key. I think and I still probably have I know I do, but I could be, I did this without anyone. I did that when I was mixing a ton of records. I was by myself, but allowing people to come in, my job is to empower them to make decisions. And so from day one to now, it's just empowering people to be okay with making decisions. And if they're the wrong decisions, we'll work on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I can imagine I know what our calendar looks like, so I can only imagine the strain you might feel on the day to day when you just see things piling in.
Some days it's oh, we forgot yesterday to send stems. We have 10 songs we got to print today. And we, it's like we have 2 computers that are just strictly for printing stems.
Yeah. So do you have like copies of the rig, like just all around the studio? Okay.
Yep.
Because your assistants, I'm assuming they have
4 or 5 different. Yeah. So that's what's hard with me doing outboard gear.
Yeah.
Is if I buy a piece of gear, I have to buy 4 of them.
Yeah.
because I don't want to have to print something after I'm done like working on a vocal, because I may want to go recall it.
Yeah.
I'd rather just have gear set so they can anyone, like if I'm gone, like, yo, can you recall this and change this real fast for me and give me a new print? So yeah, you have to duplicate that everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
I can imagine. Just even 2 of us trying to keep everything in line. It's just like text, like, hey, have you gotten this? We should probably pick this up because I just got it and I'm using a ton of it. Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's just 2 of us. I can't imagine 4.
Yeah. So I mean, luckily the team is really good. So if something needs to be updated, they make sure that everything's updated. They're really good.
That's all, dude. That's awesome. So what's on the prep side of things? Is there anything special you have them do for you before you get going? Like, or is it just kind of like, hey, put it in there, organize it, whatever?
Yeah, organize it. Make sure that the reference that the artist sends, that the stems and the files actually match that reference. Because again, I don't want to work backwards. I don't want to get a mix to where your reference was and then start mixing. I want to start mixing where you left off. And so they really help with making sure all the files and stems are where the artist left off. So they'll level match sometimes, or sometimes they'll have to ask for new stems and help the artist get stems to me. And they'll prep it. Sometimes they'll edit vocals and sometimes I'll edit vocals. We're in that era where, like, for example, like Kushner, like his song, if I would have cleaned it up, it would have ruined the song.
Yeah.
So I don't really have them clean up vocals. Sometimes I have them tune some certain stuff, but I won't have anyone edit vocals. I'll do that if I need to.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. That's beautiful, and that actually kind of leads into a few of the questions we have. Unless there's anything you want to add to the whole picture here, we had some questions submitted to us, and if anyone has any questions that's on the call, feel free to drop them in the chat or raise your hand. We'll check them out. But I did have a few questions submitted over the evening.
Cool.
So yeah, just playing off of what you kind of just said, my buddy Bill here asked, do you mix everything that you get from a client, or have you had to recommend changes like addition or deletion of different instruments or things like that?
Man, that's no, I definitely will recommend. I'll recommend changes if I know the artist. If this is like a first time client, no, my job is just I am not producing the song. I'm not writing the song. My job is to sonically make it make sense. So no, I won't make suggestions unless I know the artist. I don't feel like that's an engineer's job to speak up. I think actually, I know that engineers can lose jobs if they speak up when they're not supposed to. And especially on the mainstream side, non-Christian, like when people aren't very nice, that engineer can get kicked out of the room. And I don't want to ever ruin that relationship without speaking up unless I know the artist. But I will say, I think where I am in my career, if I do speak up, I'm very confident the artist is going to listen.
So just a question from me now, following that up, because music is such a relational business. Like, you've had artists you've worked with for over 10 years, that just keep coming back. With this platform, has that changed at all? Like, what's it like growing a relationship through this interface? Like, do you find that it's harder or easier, or is it just kind of like, oh, business as usual? It just looks different.
Yeah, business as usual looks different. My goal is to I'm very relational. Like if an artist that I work with is in town, I want to be able to go to dinner with you. Like even if we just do one song, like I like people, I enjoy helping people. And so that is one of the things that we are going to figure out, and we have to figure out is how can I communicate with the artist without making it feel like it's a transaction. I don't like that. I want to be part of the artist's career. And so it's a tough one.
Yeah,
that's a tough one because at the same time I want to make it easy and affordable, which means we just can't be talking all day.
Yeah,
like I can't stream mix. Like I can't stream a mix with you. It has to be done where you just give notes and I recall it and give it back. So at times it feels transactional, but I am trying to figure that piece out because I like I don't view these as thank you for your money. Here's a mix.
Yeah. So have you found like return clients coming and like a relationship evolving as like, oh, so and so's back?
Yeah, I'll shoot an email or if they like, we have a chat feature where they can chat with us.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we do see that, which I hope that it keeps happening because, like I said, I do like people. So I like if I'm mixing and like someone's chatting, I'm like, oh, what up? How are you?
Yeah, and I'm sure there's no better like just confidence boost or just no better feeling than seeing like, oh, the same like completely cold lead person coming in. And now, oh man, we're like 3, 4, 5 songs in. I'm sure that's got to feel great for this whole like just this whole venture.
And it's happening more and more, which is really exciting. So yeah, figuring out that relational piece is something I really am trying to fix because it's just on the UI, so we have to figure it out.
Dude, well, you're a fun guy to chat with, so I have no doubt that it will be easy to figure out for you guys. Okay, we talked about this. Bill also wanted to know, do you have preferences when it comes to like drums versus loops? Like, do you like live instruments or more like programmy like looped type feels? Like, what's your personal vibe? Like, what do you like getting?
Both. That's not a cop-out answer. I like both. I like the live element because I do so much pop and hip hop. So when I get something live, I'm like, yes, it's a challenge for today. Because the program stuff is, I can hit up. I mean, I can hit that out of the box quick.
Yeah.
But the live drums, I like get to sit and vibe with and tweak and really have fun with too. So I do like both. Do I prefer one? I don't. I'm hip hop, so I like program stuff, 808s. But I really like for my brain whenever I get something live, like live drums.
Yeah, I feel you. I
pull out certain toys. I pull out gear, pull out certain gear when I get live stuff. So and I'm a gear, I really love gear. I'm a nerd. So so when I get something that I can pull out some gear on, I will.
Since with you working more on or working a lot on like pop and hip hop stuff, what was it like pulling that stuff into Atmos for the first time and being like, oh, I don't have to crush the low end out of this now. I can actually let the 808 blow the room apart.
One of the things I love about Atmos is I'm not playing the level game, right? That's where music music is at where it's everyone wants to be the loudest, and I hate it. So, but Atmos, you have a limit that you have to -18. You have to stay. That's their rule, and so I can't limit stuff.
Yeah.
So I can make my low end hit as hard as I want.
Yeah.
And I do. Yeah. So
I'll never forget the first listening to some of the Billie Eilish stuff and whatnot, and being so used to what the stereo sounded like, and then listening to the immersive, and it's like, whoa, the low end is crazy.
Are you listening to Apple Music mixes and stuff in your room?
Yeah.
How are you doing that?
So I just use the Dante virtual sound card.
Yep.
And then I just go Dante into the Matrix, and then I just have it configured inside of Dadman as its own 714 thing. And then I just made an IO thing inside of Apple's system.
Use how you're doing it. So you don't have Apple TV.
No, I don't have Apple TV. I'm doing it all from I'm using a Mac Studio. So yeah, I'm running it all. I just assign all the channels to Dante inside of Apple
chat
Music.
More about that.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Dante is it's a headache sometimes.
Dude, it's a complete headache. I have never had more spreadsheets about how things and I've hardwired plenty of studios. That's how I made money when I first moved here, was because I could solder. The studio owner hired us to help do installs. So I've been plenty organized in cabling, and I have never had more spreadsheets than I do now, just about how things are soft patched to whatever around the room, just because you end up having to redo it 30 times. And wait, where did I put this to? Because I have to go into this software now and tell it to go here. Yeah. It's oh my God.
Yeah.
But we're making it work. We're making it work.
Right.
And then, okay. So my buddy Jerry here, he was asking, what do you feel like the most important skills to grow for getting better in production and mixing? What are what's helped you? What do you feel like is really important to focus on as someone just diving in and wanting to get better at this?
Yeah, man, this is something that I think we've lost in this journey of affordable studio equipment. Is we lost the engineer or the producer sitting under someone that they looked up to or someone who's better than them. You have YouTube, and so you can go learn how FabFilter EQ works, and so you think you're an expert at EQing vocals now. So I think the way that you get better is really finding someone and like going and sitting under them, and you not being the expert, you having a notebook and asking questions. Like we have interns here, and their job by the end of the day is they have to ask 2 questions that they can't just go Google. You're watching all this stuff all day. You can go Google something, but I want you to ask something that you can't go Google, and you're learning from me.
Yeah.
And so I think something that we've lost that we need to gain back is sitting under someone and learning.
I love that. I absolutely love that. So a question about your interns. So what does interning there look like on the day to day? Because we've really struggled with we have interns on our academy side that do more of they help with the online platforms and all of that. But on our actual music side for Seth and I, we've had interns then not had them because we can't find the right balance of is it worth are we adding to their time? What's it look like for you? Because we're always very curious about how it works in other people's spheres.
My goal for the interns, is by the end of the internship, do you want to be an engineer or do you not want to be an engineer? Like if you walk away and we've had it happen, this isn't for me. And I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to waste another 10 years of your life. But I would say what they get to do is depending on what they're walking in with, what knowledge they're walking in with. I'm not going to throw an engineer into a recording session if he's never opened Pro Tools.
Yeah.
So I want you to learn Pro Tools, but I throw them in fires all the time. And it's not just cleaning. Like I don't want you to spend all day cleaning. You'd restock fridges and or go grab some lunch if you can. But really, I want you to sit down and learn and get your questions ready for the end of the day.
Do you? And if this is a too personal question, intern wise, are most of your interns for school credit, or is it like when I was coming up, interning was you just showed up and it was you're gonna stay here till either you die or you get hired?
It's changed, bro. Yeah, right. So when we got out of school, it was you go intern, for free.
Yeah,
and you may intern for free for 2 years, and then you may get an assistant job that pays little. No, sometimes we have interns that are doing school credit, and then sometimes we have interns that we pay. So most of our interns we pay.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
And I would say for Reach Records, which I would say for mixed, I really view interns as, for Reach Records, I would say 60% of their staff start off as interns.
Yeah.
And even for mixed, I found all the staff from interning.
Yeah.
Interns, I view interns are very, very they're gold, man. You can see where people are and you can put them in places that will help grow stuff.
And that it says a lot too, just about the culture there and the people that you're finding that because that is the ultimate goal is just we're finding you, we're investing in you because we want you to be a part of this whole thing. And the fact that you that whole journey is working on your guys' end is just awesome.
Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't work out and interns just do their internship and then they leave. But having it on the resume, I hope that helps. I hope it helps the resume. That's
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, intern, it's such a hard thing sometimes, but when you get it working, there's no better feeling because I don't know. My internship was, I don't know that I'd be anywhere that I am now without having done I wouldn't be because I wouldn't have gotten a job just because that's what the life was like back then, but it was just such an eye opener to this is what music actually is because you're actually stepping foot in it and things are happening and records are being made.
It's not what you think is now it's what you have to really, really do something.
Yeah, it puts the human factor into the whole thing.
Yep.
And and it really teaches you to invest in something, even if you have like no skin in the game, which I think is a huge part of, like, there's so much trust in making music, especially on the mix and production side. It's just like, I need to know like that whoever I'm working with is on this same journey that I am, like regardless of what else is going on.
Yeah.
And that, like, that's for me has always been the first step of like, are you willing to take responsibility even though you have technically no reason to actually care about this?
Yeah.
Are you going to dive? Are you on board and just diving in regardless? And
which is, it's rare to find them.
It is, but when you do, it's like, okay, we're not they're out there. They actually exist. They do exist. It's crazy.
Yeah. We have a big pool of, we have a lot of people who apply for internship, and to find one is hard, but we do find them.
Dude, well, that is awesome. My buddy Steven had a question for you. He's also he knows of your name, and he's also from the Atlanta area.
Come on now.
And he was asking, do you have any top or go-to plugins? That he has two questions. That's the first one. I know we talked about a little bit of like Plugin Alliance, and UAD, but like kind of within those spheres, and you mentioned the FabFilter stuff too. But what when you open a session, what's the most common thing you're going to find in that session?
Pro Q3 FabFilter. Yeah. Poltec EQ UAD, the legacy.
Yeah.
LA2A compressor.
Okay, I love it. But it's hard to find someone that's not saying Pro Q3 these days, because it's just hard. Like,
if I have to, like, we talk about this here, I'm like, well, what's one plugin? If you only could use one plugin to mix a song, that's all you can have. What's it going to be? And mine's like, Pro Q3, no question.
Yeah, because you can compress with it too. I mean, it's like,
and sometimes we do that. We like you have 10 minutes to go mix a song. Who wins? All three of us are going to go. One plugin. It's a Pro Q3 always.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah. And he was also asking, what are the best ways to set a mix engineer up for success?
Yeah. If you have questions, ask them.
Okay.
A lot of times people, like, for example, someone uploaded, and it says when you upload, like, zip up your files. But we had someone upload like 400 audio files, and the person just copied over their audio folder and just like dragged it and hit upload. And obviously you didn't read. So just, if you have questions, just ask questions. And that really helps move the process forward in a cleaner way.
Awesome. Yeah. I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. So those were all of our predetermined questions. Awesome. If anyone has any additional ones, feel free to toss them in the chat. We'll keep chatting for a few minutes, and then we can chat offline for a minute too.
Cool.
But yeah, dude, thank you so much for doing all this, man.
Awesome.
We appreciate the time.
Yeah. So you guys are in Nashville, yeah?
Yeah. We're up here in Nashville. We're if you know Nashville at all, we're in the Berry Hill area. So cool. PMC actually is like 2 houses across the street and down from us.
That's where I picked these up from.
Oh yeah. Okay. So so we're literally diagonal from them across, like, if you remember, there's like a little park.
Yeah, they're all houses.
Yeah. It's like 1,000 studios in houses out here.
Yeah, because a lot of the studios around there have PMCs.
Yeah.
I went and toured a lot of different rooms to pick the one I wanted.
Yeah, the guys right next door, the Owl Studio, great friends of. It's just, this is a crazy place to make music.
There's the big mastering studio there, right?
Yeah. Yes, across the street. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, they're right there. And then there's a place called Soul Train that's kind of diagonal from them, and a buddy of mine actually that I interned with opened that place. So it's just such a trip to be like, dude, we knew each other like 23 years ago, and now we're both like neighbors on this street. That's awesome. Then you got like Blackbird behind. I mean, it's just it's a crazy area, but it's just fun. Like we got the guys at the Owl. It's guy Chris Kimmer, who's a phenomenal drummer, and they have a great setup. I mean, he's just always mic'd, always ready to go. And so it's like, grab a hard drive, literally walk across the street and be like, all right, we'll plug in a bass, got the drums already up. Let's just throw some stuff down. Yeah. 45 minutes later, we're strutting back across the street, ready to
That's awesome.
cut some vocals. It's
That's awesome.
not a bad place to be.
So is that your house or is that a studio? What is that?
So it's a studio. It was, pretty much all of these, they were houses, and then someone had renovated it into a studio, and then it just sat here for a while. And then my buddy Seth bought it, and we kind of just refurbished the whole thing and turned it in. So he's got a control room on the other side, and then we have 2 large tracking spaces that we have like kind of networked together. Then I have my room, and then we have an office space and like a meeting room, and then we have what was a garage we've converted into like an extra just like workspace, because we have on the academy side there's like another 7 employees that work just on like courses, marketing, on Song Chasers, which is the online community and everything. So yeah, it's crazy. Next time, if you're coming back to Nashville,
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I think this month in December. So that's great.
Okay, well, yeah, get me a.
We'll link. We'll
link up and come on over and check the spot out, because it's awesome. And again, I saw a few new people pop in, so if you have any questions, toss them in the chat real quick. We're just hanging out a few more minutes, and but yeah, dude, this has been so great. On stems, like you said, are you using SoundFlow? So do you use like Bounce Factory or anything like that?
I don't. We were using Bounce Factory. Actually, I don't know. We were using Bounce Butler.
Yeah, and then
and then
I used it for a little while.
Then what happened?
Well, it just like the model shifted, and then I feel like it got a little unreal, like because it went from being like I was in on the beta, and then when it came out of beta, it moved to like this pay model that it was like per stem, or like I forget how it worked, but like the cost benefit ratio really shifted to where it's like it needed enough babysitting to where I'll probably just do it myself. Like the bit of automation wasn't counting it, but Bounce Factory has been
the Bounce Factory issue is they made an update.
Okay.
Where you can't do multiple songs. You have to do one song at a time.
Really?
Yeah.
Is for all the tiers? Because I have.
Well, this was like recently, like last week when we were having our meeting. We that was one of the things. So I said, well, let's try Bounce Butler again.
Okay.
Bounce Butler, you can do multiple, but yeah.
Well, I haven't updated then, and now I'm scared to, because I know like last weekend I printed 4 songs worth of stuff. Like, it was still opening sessions. Yeah, at one time. Yeah.
That's really good. Maybe
I hit go. Okay.
But the thing is Andrew Sheps too. He answers questions if you have questions about it too, which is really good.
Yeah, it's crazy how smart that guy is. Like, and how much time he actually has to do stuff.
Right before Bounce Factory came, we almost did it too, but we built the internal software to bounce all of our stuff because Bounce wasn't working right. So one of our interns, he works for Google, but he coded software like for 2 weeks, and pretty much anything that was shown on the session, it bounced. So you could do stems and you could do multis, and like it was great.
Dude, that's epic. That kid's gold.
He is gold. Yeah, he loves music. He's a believer. It's just like it's it's awesome. But Google that was a dream of his, and so
yeah. Dude, when that comes knocking, it's probably hard to say no to.
Yeah.
So a couple of people joined a little late. Shamai was just asking, what got you into the music industry? Like, was there something that drove you in?
So it's such a hard question because I started off around artists when I was young, like 13. And so I fell in love, and I knew like I've never like, sounds bad, but I've never done anything else. Like this is the only thing that I've done for a career. I still struggle with like, oh, maybe next year will be the year that just songs stop coming.
Yeah.
And I'll have to go like find something else. But it keeps going. But something that got me into music is just like, falling in love with everything behind the scenes of what it takes to make a song. And man, you never know what a song is going to do and who is going to impact. And that was like the excitement of being behind the artist. Rarely are you going to find an artist who blows up that they don't have a team of solid people behind them. And I knew I wanted to be one of those. And I traveled, before I got married, and even when I got married, like I was working 4 different audio jobs. I was DJing for all the artists. I was engineering. I started mixing. I built studios like with Gavin Haversticks. So like it's a lot of things. But yeah.
Dude, his studios, by the way, are sick.
That's who, yeah. So I did
Yeah,
Crowded with him. I did Tori Kelly's with him.
Okay. I saw the Crowder video and I was
Yeah.
like, I think that's you. Are you in that video?
Yeah.
Because
So
it looked like you.
I did all the tech. I did
Okay.
all the gear. I did all the tech. That's why I'm like, that's why I love Dante so much, because Dante came in and saved us. Tascam released these Dante boxes, and he has a guitar rig. He had a guitar rig that we put the amp room on the other side of the house in a back room where it was quiet.
Mhm.
And so we can control any guitar amp from that room, and each one has an input in Pro Tools. It's wild, man. It's wild.
That's awesome. Yeah. His space looks incredible.
Yeah. So I'll send you some. We'll link offline. I'll send you some pictures of my room in my house. But it's a lot of fun. Gavin did that too.
I love it. I love it. So, speaking of which, someone asked, is it possible to pan around and see the studio you're in right now?
Yeah, let's see. Are we done recording? So just in case.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You're fine. Yeah.
Let's see. So I have let's see. How can I do this? Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I got you.
Cool. Oh, that's awesome. So.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I have a stand-up desk for when I'm not mixing. And then I have, man, this camera is not good, guys. Don't do this camera. Yeah, all my gear, and then yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. This room looks great.
The best subs ever, man. They sound so good.
Dude.
Yeah. I kept it really simple. I'm a minimalist. I want it to be super clean. Yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, yeah, I love the space. I love all the pure, just the pure look of everything. I like it nice and clean.
Yeah, the new room is all white, and all windows.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be an interesting vibe getting it tuned in with the windows.
It is, man. I mean, Gavin, that's why I love Gavin, man. He's like, I said I want windows. He said, okay.
That's what.
And I can't wait for when we do final testing and see the results. It's gonna sonically be great.
Dude, I'm stoked to see some pictures, man. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Shemai asked another question. Do you have any advice towards someone who wants to do music and be an artist at the same time, especially if they're working in multiple genres?
Like, you want to do music as far as you want to be
I think on the production engineering side and being an artist.
Yeah, it's hard. Again, we have one of the engineers who works for Reach. He's an artist too, but I always say there's gonna come a point where one has to take off and one has to die, or just take a back seat. And so I don't think it's bad to keep going on both, because I think you'll learn and find that you love one more than the other, probably. But that time is gonna come, so be prepared for that.
Yeah.
But I would say, if on the artist side, build a team now before you blow up. So there's an artist that I work with a lot. His Jude Barclay. He is great. He's a great artist. But I told him from the jump, you may blow up, or you may not, but you may blow up. And if you do, that means you're gonna have to go get production from producers who are gonna charge you an arm and a leg, and you're gonna have to pay a lot of money for mixing and mastering, because you're gonna be huge and your budget's can allow for it. But if you start off building a team that is surrounding you when you're small, likelihood of you staying with them and them helping you out whenever you blow up, it's going to benefit you in the long run.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, he was also asking if you have the chat up, can you throw your Instagram and stuff in the chat, just so some people can follow you? And he was like, I think I saw you on the Reach Records podcast.
Yeah. Yep.
And he's saying he knows Jude. He's a good friend of his.
There's the Get Mix, and there's my personal. Yeah.
Awesome.
Jude's awesome. I just was with him 2 nights ago.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love how small of a world it is, and especially how small it is when it gets into the music industry. Just how
yeah, there's not a lot of people doing it. So
yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Bill was asking, do you use any subscription loop services like Splice or anything to find samples like that?
I don't do a lot of production, so no, I don't. But
On the mix side, do you have a place you go to like stay fresh on samples and stuff like that, or you just kind of like let it be what's in there?
Let it be what's in there. If the only thing I'm going to change is some drum sounds probably, or work with a producer. But a lot of producers that I work with, I use Splice. Like a lot of song, a lot of there's times where I'm like, oh, I just last week mixed something with the same loop.
Yeah.
So,
I have found that a few times. We've gotten some like, we'll do a lot of like, oh, someone else wrote it and we'll produce out the track, and you get it in and it's like, oh, I know that riser, like, because it's like there's like these ghostly risers that were hot for a minute, and it's like, oh, you just pitched that down a little bit, but I know that one. Yeah, it's funny how you can get a billion search results and everyone still ends up with like
the same thing,
the same 7 things. Yeah,
it happens.
That's awesome. Well, dude, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Man, thank you.
Greatly appreciate it. It's just been a blast getting to know you, getting to hang out with you, chatting a little bit and whatnot.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I think the people have gotten a lot out of this, so greatly appreciate it, and stoked to learn more about Get Mixed. And we'll definitely be pushing people your way because it's a service that I think a lot of people need and will benefit from. So
man.
Glad to know it's out there, and you guys are crushing it, man.
Thank you, man.
Very
appreciate
much.
You. We'll link when I come to Nashville.
Yeah, please do come by, hang. We can talk shop. We'll do all that stuff. I can talk to you through how we've been talking, and then we can get
cool.
Yeah, we can get it all together. But dude, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Talk to you later.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll talk to you soon. And everyone else, thank you guys for joining us. We'll have a recording up of this soon, and it'll be on the Made It in Music podcast as well. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Made It in Music podcast. Make sure to check out our other episodes. We have well over 100 interviews with some of the top music industry pros, many here in Nashville and many from all over the world. Subscribe to make sure that you automatically get future episodes, and leave us a review if you loved it. It would really help us out. Or send an email to support@fullcirclemusic.com if you have ideas for how we can improve the show. See you in the next episode.